Now we shall discuss few points or issues about our morning guided meditation class. We have required few suggestions and few questions, few queries. First I'll come to that, and then any more questions, queries or ideas or from all of you, we'll take feedback. And if this morning meditation was successful, in future, today we read it in English. If possible, once again in future sometime, we can do one session in Hindi also and another session in Bengali language also in future, in Bangla, in these two languages. So today the first question was there about discussion. One question was that often we are very disturbed by family or work problems and keep ruminating on them throughout the day. This disturbs our concentration. Even during meditation, these thoughts invade the mind. In this situation, how to remove those thoughts and calm the mind and do japa and dhyana. This is a very common and one of the most important distractions we feel, all of us, whose daytime, whatever we are doing, whether a householder, whether a monk, whether within a society we are a student or as a housewife or a businessman or doing any service, we feel that those thoughts of our other works which we did other than the meditation time, that crowds on in our mind when we do meditation. It so happens when, suppose before we started meditation, those thoughts were not crowding on our mind. Or suppose we are thinking or doing of some work of our very which we love, like that. Suppose we are reading a wonderful novel, we are seeing a television in a movie, or we are watching cricket. Those times, these thoughts, distracting thoughts doesn't come up. But all this comes up when we are doing meditation. And still more, before we started meditation earlier, we used to think that we could concentrate very easily, whatever we wanted, either our study or job, anywhere else. But when we started to do meditation, these problems become more. As it happens that after starting meditation, our condition worsened. Instead of getting better, it went worse. It happens. Now I'll give one simile and say about the philosophical two ideas. Suppose earlier days we used to have those ink pen, like Sulekha ink pen. So there used to be a bottle where the ink used to be there, and if the bottle is empty, and now we want to wash the bottle to get rid of the total ink which is residues there. What we do? We hold that bottle under a fresh tap, fresh water tap, and pour fresh water, and then we rinse the bottle and throw the water again out. So what happens in the beginning? More and more we pour very fresh and very pure and very clear water inside the bottle, and then when we'll throw out the water again from the bottle, that pure water becomes very dark because it is mixed with the ink of the bottle. So we'll think that we are pouring very white, clear water, but the water which is coming out from the bottle, it is becoming so dirty. But after some time, maybe after a few, 2-3 times or 4, 5, 10, 15 times, when we wash more and more this bottle, we'll see that color, the dirty color of that water which is being poured out from the bottle, it will become faded and faded, and with time the water will become more clearer, and in the much later, after some time, the same clear water will pour inside the bottle, the same clear water will be poured outside of the bottle. So this process is cleansing. As we said, the meditation is reality, it's not a concentration. It is just surrendering or dedicating to offering ourselves to God or to the divine. So it is a cleansing process. Once it is our mind and heart becomes more and more purified. With time, this will be better, this concentration. And again, for this one, there is one technical, philosophical two issues I'll tell now. During meditation, they said there are four obstacles, which is said in the Vedanta. When you do meditation, what are the problems? One problem was said in this question, that we have that problem, that a whole day problem comes up again and again meditation in meditation, and we fail to concentrate. But there are other problems also. We'll come in philosophically so that we can discuss in details what may be the different supposed problems, and what may be the remedy for us, which has been given in the scriptures and by the great ones, by the Mahamanavas, avatars. It is said the four obstacles of meditation are laya, vikshepa, kashaya, and rasaswadan. These are four terminologies. This is one beginner. We said today in the morning that we pray to Siddhidhatha Ganesha and Vigna Harta Ganesha, so that he removes the obstacles. We know in all the worships, we do the worship of Ganesha, and then we worship any other deity. So like that, he also guarantees us to get the siddhi, and also he removes the obstacle. Like a mouse, his vehicle, Bahan, which is to enter any small nooks and crooks and to find the way out. Similarly, we can through that, with the help of Sri Ganesha, we can get rid of the vigna. So what are these four vignas of meditation? As I said, one is laya, number two is vikshepa, number three is kashaya, number four is rasaswadana. Now what are these things? Laya means, laya, you can understand, laya means, like it has been, laya means it has been dissolved. What happens many times in the very beginning when we start to meditate, or in a life, or we are tired any other times, or especially in the early morning, we start meditation, we're thinking we're doing, sometime later, maybe 10-15 minutes later, we all of a sudden we realize what we were doing. We are not meditation, we are just dozing off, we were drowsing, we are just having drowsiness, sleeping. When we are sleeping in the sitting posture, it many times happened with many of us, mostly in the morning or in the beginning life of meditation. When we slept instead of doing meditation, we didn't know. But maybe after 4 or 5 minutes or some minutes, when we doze too much off and we stoop in too much and forward, we feel ourselves by the jerk, or maybe somebody else also can show us that ultimately we are not doing meditation, we were just sleeping. So this is called laya. Laya means the nidra, which happens instead of doing meditation. We are in so much tamasa. So much tamas, so much slumber. So ultimately we drift into the tamas in the sleep. The very beginning stages, it may happen. Mostly the early morning or very beginning. Because we are never accustomed to train our mind. When we are doing concentration in our own lives, either studying our school topics or doing any work, anything else, or watching a movie, or reading a novel, or watching television, cricket, etc. Because we love those things so much, we naturally get concentrated. Because those things are very lovable things. Those things mean to pull us, because these are outside objects. Our senses run towards that, and that pulls us so that mind become concentrated on that object, so we could concentrate. But in meditation, concentration is totally different. And Kathopanishad it said, Paranchi Khani Vetrin Swayambhu, means the great Lord, He had made our senses as if an envy, made that outward way. But when we do meditation as the morning, we said, the senses has to be turned inside. So you're meditating inside, imagining that, and what you're meditating upon with the help, what is the instrument there? Your own mind. And what you're watching, so that what you're concentrating upon, that is also your own mind. So as it were, you're dividing your mind into two halves. When we do some outside work, either studying or seeing a movie, novel, cricket, here we are not dividing. We are fully concentrating with our mind on that object, a play or movie or whatever it may be there. But inside, when we do meditation, one thing is that we are just reversing the gaze inside. As we said morning, that in Shiva, in front is Nandi is sitting very alert. His eyes are always awake, and he is always watching attentively towards Shiva. In any Shiva temple you see, he is facing himself, facing Shiva. He is not facing towards the world. Nandi is always facing towards Shiva, not towards the world. So this is a very difficult thing. Initially, we are always trained to look towards the world from the very our childhood. So now turning the gaze inward, this is one difficult thing. And again, to divide the mind as if in parts. Because when you are doing the meditation, I myself am trying to visualize my Swarupa as Shiva or my chosen deity, myself dividing myself as a Nandi or the one thing who is watching that, who is observer. Myself dividing myself as two. So initially it is very difficult and very strenuous job. So that means that laya or nidra or sleep may come. So is the first obstacle. But with slowly, as mother says, Srimad Sharda Devi, Chandan khoste khoste ghan ber hai. When you press the sandal paste, initially it will smell very bad. A very old sandal paste of 1 year, 2 year kept in the water maybe. Initially it will smell very bad odor. But once you start making the sandal paste, after some time it will give up that bad smell and it will wonderful fragrance. Or sweet odor will come up. So with time this laya nidra will go up. And for this nidra, there is one thing you can do. If you is feeling too much sleepy, it's better you can stand up you get up from your sit, from asana. You can even stand up and do japa, or you can even do walking in your room, either in your hands or in your japa mala, or there you can do japa. So these are two things you can do, or if still there, you can listen to songs or sava bhajan like that. Other things also there that will come later. So for laya, this is the obstacle. This is the remedy. Another second obstacle, which was asked in that question, that our daytime many activities comes in our mind. This is called vikshepa. Vikshepa means the distraction. We occasionally get distracted in a worldly life also. Sometimes we are doing something like when we are driving a car, suppose, or driving a vehicle, you have to be very attentive. If you're not attentive, then the opposite set many people will come, they will risk of accident, or the accelerator, brake and gear, so many things are there. A little bit distraction will leave you astray. So likewise, this vikshepa, what happens when we try to do meditation, instead of the chitta vritti of nirakara dhyana, either if we are doing nirakara dhyana, as morning we said, or we do sakara dhyana of ishta or your chosen deity or the other, instead of that, any other your which you used to love earlier, like we said that thinking of the cricket, seeking the politics, any opinion poll, thinking of any movie, or thinking of wonderful some novel, or thinking of somebody else, because we used to love those things so much till this time of our life. Naturally that will be because otherwise only meditation we are doing mostly maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, maybe 3 hours, maybe so that. Baki the rest of the day, maybe 20 years or 21 hours, we are either sleeping or doing our other works, or we are doing day-to-day activities, or we are just passing time in wastage. So this huge time, there will be huge impression in the small time we are doing japa or meditation. So it is very natural this distraction will come. And initially, as we said in that example, that Sulakha ink bottle, that when initially you pour very clear water, the water will come up, will be thrown out, it will be very dark. But with time, it will get faded and it will become better. So here also, when you meditate, and after a certain time, like in Laya, you certain time you discover that you are just sleeping, you are not doing anything. Here also, you'll feel that initially you won't know that you are be distracted by other thoughts. You are thinking that you are doing japa, you are doing meditation. Maybe after 2-3 minutes or 4-5 minutes, all of a sudden you will realize, as if you are waking up and seeing what am I doing. I was not thinking of my chosen deity or Ishta, I was just thinking of that movie or that cricket or politics. All of a sudden, then when this will happen, Swamiji says there's a small wonderful book, that Sharala Raja Yoga, 6 lessons on Raja Yoga. Swamiji says there are 2 things you can do. First, when you sit for meditation, you become the witness, Sakshi Bhava. Sakshi means that you are just witness. You are sitting initially, when sitting down to meditate, you don't do to try to control the mind. You just watch your mind, watch what his mind is doing. Just like when you play a kite, what you do, that you have in a heart that latai thake, and the kite goes away and away with the string is attached with your that latai, and is far away, kite is soaring high and high. But it is not always the player, the person who is playing the kite, flying the kite, he not always pulls the kite towards his direction. Sometimes he just releases the string, keeps on releasing the string, and kites moves on whichever way the breeze takes on. After some time, that person, he pulls the string in his hand, and he positions the kite in the sky according to his own position, whatever he wants. So similarly, Swamiji says, when you sit for meditation, just like releasing the string, like flying the kite, you just release your mind, whatever it may think, good, bad, whatever thoughts earlier your samskaras were there, you just watch as a witness. Initially, try to divide your mind into 2. One is the watchman, and another is the action man, the act man, who is doing the action, which is thinking, thought man. So you just divide into 2 and watch whatever is happening. So after a certain time, you will see, suppose in life also we know, wherever we are working, or in the office or in the roads, if there is a CCTV camera, we becomes very cautious and very conscious that we should not do something wrong. The CCTV, it will catch up, and it will be shown to everywhere. So we become very prepared to act in a very good way, natural, proper way, when CCTV is there. Or somewhere we see notice is there, you are under up CCTV इसमें अंदर में है, you are under the CCTV surveillance. Whether it is true or not, CCTV is really or not, but it is written there, we become very cautious there. We should be very properly acting there. So similarly, the mind is also like that. When mind knows that something else is watching him, that mind, the half of the mind, after some time he will become ashamed, or he become very watchful. He will come, he won't waver here and there, because he knows he has been caught. Whatever he is thinking, somebody else looking at that, he knows my deep secrets. So this also somebody says, by practice it will come, not in the very first day, beginning day. You just try to think, or like the CCTV watching, the thought giving this imaginary, or like that kite we said, flying, the kite is flying far and far, and releasing the strings. So initially do that. After that, you will see the mind will come down slowly with time. And then, like when the player, he pulls the string of the kite and accordingly positions the kite wherever he wants, up and below or far away. So after that, Swamiji says, then wherever the mind wavers in his Sarala Raja Yoga, that 6 lessons of Raja Yoga, you pull the mind, and whatever means the dhyana object, either Nirakara Dhyana or Sakara Dhyana, you pull the mind and rest on that place, on that. Like we said in the morning, the Ashtadala Padma or Guru Padma Dhyan, whichever Dhyana you are doing. So whenever mind will waver and go away, like the player of the kite, you pull it again and again. So these 2 things, a player does both the thing when he flies the kite. Sometimes he releases strings, more and more strings, sometimes he pulls back the strings. So this is the way art to fly a kite. In similar way, that you need to do, release the string of your mind, to release, so that he is pacified. অর্থাৎ আদর এবং শাসন যেমন সংসারে হয়, নরমে গরমে, আদরে সেইভাবে sometimes you have to pacify the mind, that whatever already little bit think and little bit pacify, little bit have his own desires of thinking. Like Thakur used to say, Sri Ramakrishna, in active life, the ছোট ছোট বাসনাগুলো ভোগ করে পূরণ করে নিতে হয়, বড় বড় বাসনাগুলো বিচার করে ত্যাগ করতে হয়. Small desire you need to fulfill, And big desire you need to, by discrimination, you used to give up. Like Thakur took once mithai or rasagolla and or took that blanket from Mathuranath Kashmir shal and then left it like that. So sometimes we pacify the mind, sometimes pull the mind, sometimes do shashan over that, and sometimes you just release it. So with this thing, slowly with days and times, it will come up. And this another way also, when in spite of this, we are not able to concentrate in mind more and more, then you can just offer those thoughts, whatever those thoughts are coming, or daytime thoughts, just offering, make it as offering as a dedication to the surrender to your Lord, to the Ishta, to the Divine. That these are thoughts are coming, you please take care of that. That it's not in my part, not in my power to control and to conquer my mind. You know my position, that I'm a failure again and again. You please take care of me. Just your prayer. If you're not possible, it's not possible to do meditation or even for japa or even for any other like this strenuous activities, just pray. Pray to the Holy Mother, pray to Divine, pray to Ishta, and slowly with that prayer, that Mother says, Sri Charaiveti, that about Sri Ramakrishna, that ভদ্রলোককে কি এক কথা বারবার বলতে হয়, ঠাকুরের মতো ভদ্রলোক আর কে আছেন? Do you need to tell a gentleman same thing again and again? And who is a more gentleman like Sri Ramakrishna or your Ishta? So like that, if you pray fervently that this is a destruction I cannot hold anymore, I cannot conquer anymore, I cannot bear this things anymore, he'll take care of your this burdens. Another example is there by Sri Ramana Maharshi says, suppose you are traveling in a train and you have a big luggage with you, and when you are sitting in the train, what do? In the station you are carrying the luggage in your hand, but when you are in the train, do you still carry the luggage in your hand or put the luggage in the beside in the luggage corner? Definitely in the luggage corner you do not carry that, because you know that the train which is carrying you, that same train will carry your luggage also. So you do not take that effort. So here also, when we are surrendering to the Divine, you think this way, that our Ishta, the Divine, he'll carry whatever my obstructions, whether my distractions, whether my problems are there, he will take care of that. I did not think of that. Like Ramanuja used to say that, like, or Sri Ramakrishna says, like snake when a big জাত সাপ যখন কামড়ায় তখন আর সেটা he'll die definitely. Ramanuja also says the same thing when a tiger take hold of the prey in this takes in the neck. So it is no way that the prey can get away from the tiger. It will be bound to get killed. So when we have surrendered to the Guru or Ishta, Divine. So definitely it is his power, his or her power, that will take care of all these obstacles, all these problems also. So divinely and fervently you pray to him or her and offered all these problems to him or her, and she will take care. So slowly this change in our ideas will come. Now the third problem, this is the viction, means kashaya. What is kashaya? Kashaya means stupefying the mind. Mind is becoming too much, like suppose a flogging, very tired horse is there, you flogging again and again. So once after that, you will not even stand up, it will not wake up, it will become like a very jada bhuta, means become too much tamas and too much, it is not sleep, it will awake, but mind will be so much dull, you can't even think anything. Awake but failing to think and act anything. So much in stupor. This is called kashaya. So this may happen due to our past, our bad karma, samskara. Sometimes mind will be so much dull. We cannot think of any higher thoughts, think of any gods and like this. We'll be so much thinking like a small that like in a coma or very delirium boy like that, or like a cerebral palsy, you may say, or like that, any like a disease. Mind will be like that. They will be so much stupefied that you cannot think of any higher thoughts, any fine thoughts, any very subtle thoughts. There will be so much in a bad state of situation. So this is called kashaya. Again for kashaya, what we need to do that? So there also, this when this will mind will be so much dull and stupefied. It is better that time not to do this, force your mind, because mind is already too much tired. If you force it again, it will be in the state of breakdown, like a nervous breakdown. It may be very difficult to recover from that, or maybe depression or their mental problems. Even we know that many people, sometimes somebody says that they try to follow the spiritual life, they become either hypocrite, or they become mad, or this mental problems happens like this. So better that time don't force your mind any further. Do anything else, like after the japa and meditation, you can do stava or stotra, the wonderful Sanskrit stotra. You can listen. If you're a singer, you can sing yourselves, or you get wonderful music or songs in your Sanskrit or in your own language. You can sing or you listen to that, or the Vedic chanting stotra also. You can do that, or you can listen to that, or you can do that. Reading the Shastra Swadhyaya, means whatever the biographies of saints, wonderful biographies of different saints. Today, now YouTube is so much, you can watch that audio visual TV, YouTube, watch those by saints, or you can study something very like Shastra, whatever you feel like, according to your inclination. But the best thing is there to have satsanga. Satsanga means that to have a satsanga means if anything else is not possible, to I don't have. I just see there was one question, or some. I'll just open the message. I cannot concentrate if I don't have enough sleep, so I sleep late. It is very difficult for me to meditate early morning. Yes, I'll come to that. So I'll finish this kashaya. So kashaya, the best thing is there, as I said. First one, I'll come to that, which you asked in the message. The first thing is I said that you could study or listen to music or stotra or Vedic chanting or sing yourself. Second is you could read or again listen or to YouTube audio visual, see that saints life biography is very illuminating, very inspiring, or any shastra if you can lectures if you listen or see like that. And but the best is doing satsang, because only a illumined light like a lamp can only lighten another lamp. You can only lamp can darken lighten up the dark room. That's why life can only lighten up another life. So satsang, whether if you can guru or any illumined person or any very spiritual person or any monk or nun or any other your senior in your even householder who's very spiritually oriented or attending some satsanga pravachan discourse. So anyway, this time satsang is best thing. You know that mother Parvati, when she was born in the lap of Himalaya, she showed all the divine forms to his father, and his father told him, "Mother, now show me a Brahma Rupa, Brahma Swarupa." Mother said that mother could show him, but giving realization, but she didn't give. She said that if you want to get the Brahma Swarupa, you need to do further. You need to do satsanga, sadhu sangha. So this is the, if any way other way, this stupefaction mind is so in tamas, so in a bad form, so many past bad actions, bad karma there in this life or past life. It is sadhu sangha. We know by sadhu sangha Ratnakar become Valmiki, by sadhu sangha Angurimal by from Buddha and become a great monk, and by Narad Ratnakar become Valmiki, and so many. Girish Ghosh we know from Sri Ramakrishna. There's so many examples are there. So that's the best. I will come. That was the question that we cannot concentrate if we don't have enough sleep. So if I sleep late, it is very difficult to meditate early morning. Now, ideal time of meditation, as we said in the morning, it is Sandhya. That's why in our Sanatan Dharmic Parampara we have three Sandhya Vandana. Sandhya means Sandhi. Sandhi means junction, a juncture. When there's a joint. Suppose you need to move your hand or you move a feet. Can you move your hand or feet anywhere? No. You can move your hand or feet only in the junctions, that between the joints, like elbow or a hand or wherever the elbow is there. A straight bone you cannot move. Is it not? So likewise, when you need to, there's no sound is coming. Is there any problem? Oh, no, it's coming. So So that's why the sandhi is important, where it is malleable, where it is flexible, where it can malleable. Your mind is so much rigid, our mind, with so many earlier sanskaras for so many births and this birth also. So that is the time when you can enter your mind sandhi. So ideally it is best to do when dawn and dusk, when night ends, morning comes, or day ends, night comes, like this and that. But in case somebody, because we have of our own biological clocks, it is there that if we don't have enough sleep, suppose we can modify that. If you don't get enough sleep, you can sleep earlier little bit, not to wake up too much up to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock at night, or we can sleep by 10, 11 maybe at night. Then we can have enough sleep. You can wake up at least, if possible, half an hour before the sunrise. Not Brahma Muhurta. I'm saying Brahma Muhurta is still higher, still earlier, like 3:40, 4 o'clock. I'm not telling that, but wherever the sunrise will be there, in summer season or the winter season. You know, winter season sunrise is much later, maybe 6:30, 6:40, like that. So at least half an hour before, maybe 6 o'clock at least, in winter at least. Summer it will be little earlier. So if it is possible to wake up half an hour earlier, because that time the environment, whole world is very calm and quiet. There's not a din and bustles in the city, no sound. People also not so active. So there is a tanmatra in the virata, in the samasti. Samasti also, it is very calm and quiet for meditation. And for Thakur's, you have seen in Kathamrita, naturally he used to be meditative that time. It's not that he used to force himself to that, because that it is a environment was like that. He was so much tuned in that. Resonance is that. Naturally, he used to be meditative always, and at that time especially. So, if possible to do that, or if sleep is less, I think if daytime, sometime we can take rest, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever necessary, so that we can nighttime which sleep we didn't have, daytime we could have that sleep if it is possible. And if still it is not possible due to our biological clock something, or we are sick, or due to old age or whatever problem, in that case, all right, that we pray to your divine or mother or your ishta, that it is not possible for me, for my own weakness or shortcomings, you please forgive me, and whatever may possible, because ultimately our goal is not to wake up or this time or be acquainted. Goal is to have a good meditation. This is the way, this is the path, but goal we have to is to good meditation. So if the path is not beneficial for us, that we cannot wake up early, all right, you pray to your divine arishta, and you wake up according to your own time, and then you do suppose maybe later on 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or whatever possible. Or if it is off day, like we have any like Sunday, or any that we have time in the daytime also, before lunch, like that, or after taking bath every morning, or after rising from our afternoon nap, like 3 o'clock, like that. Those times also you can use for meditation. So this time other times we can arrange accordingly. So at least if possible 2 hours meditation, if it is possible, 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening. If not together possible, you break it up, that half an hour or 45 minutes morning, 45 minutes afternoon, or 45 minutes evening, or half an hour evening, or break it in 4 times, that before sleeping. So morning, afternoon, evening, and before sleep. You can still break up in 5 times. If it is at a continuation, you cannot do for a long time, like this: morning, then after taking bath second time, afternoon third time, and fourth time evening, and night time before sleep, in the bed itself. So the 5 times we can even accordingly. It is all your choices. It is not nothing hard and fast rule. So we need to modify, because the main role to do have a good meditation is surrender to define, not these timings and not. But if it is good, if we can do accordingly, like sitting facing northward, sitting facing eastward, like that. Then the fourth is the rasa swadhana, fourth obstacle. Rasa swadhana is that suppose we are having a good meditation, we are thinking that, but we are so much engrossed with those imaginaries or imaginations, or those whatever we are thinking, that we forget the object of meditation to realize the divine, But like we see seeing a good movie in a hall, and we are engrossed with that. We are singing, laughing with the movie, crying with the movie, so much identifying with the movie. We are forgetting that movie is only a screen, but reality is the behind the white screen. Movie is only a chaya. It is only a that moving that shadow. So similarly, Rasaswadan is so much engrossed in the your outer different forms, whatever we are imagining, we are thinking, and through different ideas of the when thinking of the divine in Sakara Dhyana or Nirakara Dhyana through Panchabhuta theme, that gives a great joy. It said that Vishayananda, Bhajanananda, then Brahmananda. Vishayananda is that Ananda with the Visha sense objects. Like we said earlier, that seeing cricket, about politics and TV, movie, like this. But Bhajanananda is Ananda from Bhajan. This from meditation, from japa, that idea. Ananda. So this is still higher. But this is not the highest. If we get stuck up in that bhajana, we won't get to the highest, to the Brahmananda, which is God realization. So whenever these thoughts will come that I'm so much engrossed, I don't want to leave these things. I have seen so much. Does it? You ultimately you need to do. You have to pray to God, pray to your divine. That ultimately I want you. Only this lower this happiness also I don't want. This better happiness from Vishayananda. But I want you and you alone. So this is still going higher and higher. So this is Rasaswadan. So in short, these are four obstacles. There was another question about the pranayama. In between, do you have anybody of you have any own questions or any ideas or any queries?
Yes, Maharaj, I
Please.
have a question.
Yes, please.
Pranam Maharaj, I'm Sangeeta Sengupta from Kolkata.
Yes, please.
First of all, I must thank you that this morning today, which I attended the meditation session, it actually had helped me a lot. I tried whatever steps you had told. I tried to do all those just after the session I attended, and it actually helped me. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Now I have two questions. First is, when you said the when we have to do this shakar, shakar dhyan যেটা করবো বলেছিলেন আপনি,
Huh.
position which you had said will be the hand position which you said, it will be the left palm will be left palm will
Below.
be at the down and the right palm will be on top of it, and the
Yes.
thumbs will be touching each other. Now, the question is that whether the thumb tip should be touching each other or it can overlap each other. This is the
It is
first
better to tip of the thumb, both tips
question.
like this, both tips. This left palm below, right palm above, and both tips should. Well, it will be the ideal. The it will be in position will be
Like
very
this?
proper.
Is it like this?
Yes, this way, which I'm feeling the two thumbs, tip of thumbs will touch.
It was continuously coming as like this, Maharaj. It was coming like this. So, is it a problem if it comes like this? Can you
No, it's not too much problem because you'll see, uh, this is the way where Swamiji's famous posture we know, this is meditation posture, Swamiji is sitting like that. But when you see Thakur's Samadhi posture and Sri Ramakrishna's Samadhi posture and Sri Ma Sardadevi's the famous photograph, there their hands are crossed, little bit crossed, like the
Yes,
crossed
correct.
fingers are crossed like this. So that also is permissible. But naturally, when we sit for just for casually, many things we cross our fingers, we are not attentive because they are only in higher realm. That is natural for them. But if we do like very casually, we may not, we become inattentive during meditation. That's why to be more formal, so that when you will losing this tip, will be attentive. That probably my posture also I am not stooping much forward, or I am bending too much backward, or I am my relaxing my hands. So it will remind you again and again that I am not doing. Maybe I had laya nidra, maybe I had vikshepa. It will remind you. That's why it is said that this much. But of course, again, because the main role is to have a good meditation. If for you this crossing fingers or little bit something according to your finger position, little bit this and that will help you. It is not distracting your meditation. You can definitely do that.
Okay,
So
thank
main
you for
goal
that.
should not be
And the
forgotten. Yes.
second question is that you said when I'm doing Manush Puja of Gurudev, then
Yes.
I'm imagining that that at the in Sahasrara Chakra he is sitting with thousand petaled white lotus, and
Yes.
then
White
I'm
lotus.
worshipping him as in I'm putting and so that portion, if you could repeat little bit, I missed it out because I just heard you saying that there will be you will be touching the forehead or other parts. So that portion, if you could
That
please
is the
repeat.
imaginary, like this is the Brahmarandra, the Veda Sahasrara. Shata Chakra is the sixth, our lotus in Tantra it is said, and is the seventh place where it is the place of Guru. That's why it is said always, even for animals, like our pet dog or pet cat, we should not touch the head of the animal in our pet dog even with our leg. We know sometimes we caress our pet dogs and cats with our putting our leg on the head, on their head, because the head is the place of Guru. We should not put our leg, foot on the, even for small animals like that. So here we'll think Sahasra Dalapada with thousand petals, white lotus, and there Guru is sitting, and very full of grace, looking at me, looking forward like that. I can also looking, and within Guru Ishta is already there, because Guru or Ishta are Abhed, they are not different. Ishta only comes as a form of Guru to me, so that I may know him, realize him. So think, and you may think as imaginarily, because the Guru Padmatma is, that is the most gracious guest, gracious gift we can have in a whole world, in a whole life. Because from there is the source of Sahasrara, the Kundalini, where there is place of Shiva, Parama Shiva. So there we can think that nectar, because Guru Padmatma, there is a nectar. This is imagination. Just think that Guru Padmatma, nectar, the Amrita is being from like Kundali or from the whole world. Like we are standing in the rain, in the rainy season. We'll become fully drenched and become so fresh and so happy. You just imagine from the Guru Padma, this nectar is flowing in a whole body, and we are becoming sanctified, becoming purified through that nectar. From each and every from hairs, from nails, and every whole body, outer body, inner body, everybody. In that case, if you require, if you need that, to touch each and every part of your body, so that visualize that very objectively, that this part is being also being sanctified by the grace, and I begin to become still and it is being purified. Like that which we did later on by Viraja Hum Mantra. We are offering our parts or everything to our divine and becoming more and more purified. All this through ritual is this imagination. This is one of the imagination. You can think like that. They are touching every part, and it becomes very still, calm, and quiet, and it becomes full of grace. It has become illumined. It is because now it is the abode of God, abode of divine. This Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. which we understood earlier, it was full of so much bad things, both thoughts earlier. Now it has become a so much a great. It become a temple, temple of God, because Guru is residing by His grace. This is the imagination. We can and do that. It will help us. This dhyana, and then offer like Pushpanjali, like Durga Puja, Saraswati Puja, offer to Guru Pushpanjali, and then come down to Ishta in Hriday, and merge Guru to Ishta also. There Ashtadala Rakta Padma, red petal, color, eight petal lotus. So this, and then in short, then we'll talk about the pranayama. There's any more question, or then we'll do it shortly. Very pranayama will do very less only because uh, all right. Somebody else raised her head, raised her hand. Please,
Maharaj,
Bolo.
thanks a lot for the idea you gave us that about Guru's Padapadda's nectar
Dhyana.
is flowing over me. Really, it's a very nice thing. But I want to ask you one thing that can we do Lila Dhyan
Of course, Leela, of
before
course we can do.
concentrating on our heart or on top
Uh,
of our head.
Liladhan, this way we can do that when you do real meditation, that way we said that the puja, manasa puja, we said morning that you're offering incense, you're doing arati, you're offering this and that. So that is also Liladhan. And with that also, because when you're ultimately will concentration, there's time if you think many other things, like he's doing this, doing that, their concentration will move here and there away from main object. But that is definitely helpful when you're not able to concentrate fully on your hridaya. You can think different things like that. If suppose it's Sri Ramakrishna, if he is your Ishta, you can think that you're sitting in the Dakshinasa in his that room, very room, like Sri Ramakrishna is Kathamrita, Vachanamrita, he's talking those things. Srima is sitting behind, maybe Narayan also sitting behind. You also sitting in a very small corner. You're listening what Sri Ramakrishna is saying, or with mother in Jarambati or your Ishta, whoever will be there. Of course, you can do Lila Dhan, but after that or before that, whatever which is feasible for you, is always good because meditation ultimately to merge the divine. So to be the Swarupa is one with me. It's not different from me. Ultimate goal. That's why from bhajan that will be in a stage of bhajananda, which you said that to Lila Kirtan, that is in a rasa swadhan stage ultimately. From the lowest stage Vishayananda it is better, bhajananda. But from the highest stage Brahmananda, it is an obstacle like that, it is rasa swadhan. We are getting stuck up there. But already we are still much lower. For us it is definitely helpful to do Lila Dhyana. So this way we need to.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes. And about pranama, then two or three points. So, anyway, Sinha ji, any question?
মহারাজ আমি জিজ্ঞেস করছি যে এই যে
Yes.
যখন আমরা মেডিটেশন করি এবং লং মেডিটেশন করি তখন একটা সময় মনে হয় বেশ ভাল লাগছে, কিন্তু ওইটা যে ঠিক ঠিক সাইলেন্ট ফেজ, মানে একদম নীরব যে আমার মনটা, সেটা বুঝবো কি করে, সেটা বোঝা?
This when you get up from the meditation, you can test it. Like it is said that বসে থাকলে তো সবাই পরমহংস, কাজে গেলে সেখানে বোঝা যায়, we can test our mind. So like that, when in Gita we are studying the Sridhartika and second chapter Sthita Pragya, it is saying dukkhesu nirudvigno manaha sukhesu vigatas priyaha. So men will go back to work in our household activities wherever we are. When these problems will come, again we'll face the world again, good and bad things. If you're agitated with the obstacles or whatever dukkha, or we have too much, we are carried away by sukha, then it shows that ultimately we didn't aspire something higher. It is very superficial. If we had done something better or lower, very deeper, so it will reflect in our day-to-day activity also. We will become very calm and quiet in our life also. We can face the problems of life very easily, very challengingly, and we can, without reaction, we can respond very humbly, and accordingly, we can get over the situation. So there will be the test that will show that whether meditation was good or it was only scratching the surface only. But this time it will come slowly, slowly. Dr. Rao, you asked about that meditation posture, that dhyana. So that we already showed here, that sakara dhyana. And for formless and nirakara dhyana, we said that two hands will be kept on the two knees, and it will like that. The thumb and the index finger will touch each other. Other three fingers will be straightened, and like that it will be upward. It will be kept on the left knee. Similarly, the right hand also, like this, it will be kept on the right knee. This is for Nirakara, formless dhyana. So this. So now in short last few minutes, we'll say something about the pranayama. Achha, there's another, Kavita Majumdar, please. Another question, please say. Kavita Majumdar, please. You please open your mic, unmute your mic.
সরি মহারাজ, মহারাজ আমার প্রশ্নটা এই যে আমরা যখন নিজেদের ইসেতে ষষ্ঠ ভূমিতে সহস্রারে সেই সহস্রদল শ্বেতপদ্মতে গুরুদেবকে আসন দিয়ে বসিয়ে ওনাকে যখন নাকি আমরা ধ্যান করতে চেষ্টা করছি, ওনাকে আমরা অভ্যর্থনা করছি, আরতি এটসেট্রা, কিন্তু মহারাজ তখন মাঝখানে কি আমাদের ইষ্টকেও ওনারই মধ্যে দেখতে হবে?
হ্যাঁ, that Shastra is the seventh place, Shata Chakra
হ্যাঁ
is up to Agnya, Shastra is seventh,
হ্যাঁ
Saptam. So there,
হ্যাঁ
whenever
সেভেন
we are
সপ্তম
doing,
ভূমি, ঠিক আছে
ha,
মহারাজ, সরি। হ্যাঁ
Saptam, ha. So here, whenever we'll do our Guru Dhyana, we need to
হুম
remember the Ishta is residing within the Guru.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
গুরুর মধ্যে কিন্তু
সো
ইষ্ট
উই নিড
আছেন।
টু থিঙ্ক যে আমি যে
হ্যাঁ
আমার গুরুদেবকে ওখানটা নিজে ভিজুয়ালাইজ করতে চেষ্টা করছি অন্তরে, মনের
হ্যাঁ,
মধ্যে, কিন্তু
না
সেইখানটায়
গুরুদেবকে
তারই মধ্যে
সহস্রারে,
আবার কি ইষ্টকেও ভাবতে হবে?
হ্যাঁ না ভাবতে মানে you have to just remember or you can merge in that way. That time you remember for Guru only, but
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
intellectually or just before that thought, you keep in mind that when Guru is the form of Ishta, who
হ্যাঁ
is the active or the outer form of Ishta. Because till
হ্যাঁ
now we have not encountered, we have not seen our Ishta in our directly in my own life. So
হ্যাঁ
Guru is the outer form, his Ishtas come in this way to grace me.
হ্যাঁ।
So just
তো
remember,
আমরা
Guru
যেই
is Ishta.
প্রার্থনাগুলো করছি তখন, যে এই ওনাকে
হ্যাঁ
প্রদীপ দিচ্ছি, ওনাকে এই সমস্ত প্রার্থনা
হ্যাঁ
করে সব অভ্যর্থনা করে ওনাকে বসাচ্ছি, সেগুলো সব গুরু রূপেই করছি। আহ
হ্যাঁ, when you
মানে
are doing হ্যাঁ Sahasrara will think I was Guru only, form will be of Guru.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
Their
আর
Sahasrara form
হৃদয়
won't be
গিয়ে
of Ishta.
তখন হৃদয়ে তখন আমাদের ইষ্টমূর্তি হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
Yes, yes, yes,
ঠিক
yes.
ঠিক
After
ঠিক
that, you
আছে।
bring Guru down and merge
হুম
Guru in Ishta, and then
হুম
you
হুম।
do that.
অনেক অনেক থ্যাংক ইউ মহারাজ,
Yes,
ধন্যবাদ।
yes. Later on, we may do one Hindi guided meditation also, and one Bangla meditation or guided meditation also in some future day. This we did in English, if possible, and future one in Hindi and one in the Bengali. We may also do in future sometime, if my mother wills like that, will do that. And to end very short about that pranayama, we said that pranayama it's not necessary to do too much because in our life we are not the circumstances outer atmosphere not like that, and we are not in constant touch with our own guru so that he can guide us, and even if it involves problems will be there. There are even medical benefits but medical side effects also if it is being done in a wrong way. Can we advise our what was the question? Can we advise our cancer patients who are psychologically depressed to meditate, or to tell them to get busy in daily work? Of course, meditation will be beneficial for anybody, whether normal being, even for cancer patients, because they need to cope with their tragedy or cope with themselves, cope with their own life. They need to be at peace with themselves. So the Western concept mostly is like that. You need to be busy with your different works. So that is also that has to be balanced. It should not be negated that we can do if it's possible some daily outside work they can do, but also this inner work. Meditation is a Bharatiya Sanatana this Jnana Parampara. This since any cancer patient or any other patient who is possible who can think of the divine or like that, or in the basic meditation for him, Omkar or whichever way, it is always beneficial to come down. Even medical also physiologically we know that meditation is that way. About transforming our sympathetic doctors are here, sympathetic nervous system activities towards parasympathetic activity. It is all in the spine, autonomous nervous in the spinal column, Shushumna, Ida Pingala, where sympathetic nervous system acts for fight and flight. That you see which happened in Arjuna in the first chapter. His response, whatever he was giving, the physical response, his মুখ শুকিয়ে যাচ্ছে, his বেটি, all these are sympathetic response. And Ashtasattvic Vikar, which happens in this God relation or this I think, this is mostly in parasympathetic responses. So meditation is that way, transforming our sympathetic nervous system, is fight or flight actions towards parasympathetic. So even medically, physiologically, this is very, very much beneficial. Your BP will be reduced, your pulse rate will be reduced, and sympathetic will be high, it will palpitation. So everything will be better. So this one. Any special instruction for kids? Almost 50% the patients are kids who can't follow these instructions. Kids, it's good to do that whatever they love, they have some their own thing, either they love their parents or they love their friends or some dolls or plays, and then whatever they do, because we said in the meditation at the very beginning today, first thing is the purification of the heart. That how that comes? Through yajna, through sacrifice. Only then only you can little bit do meditation. Otherwise it will be a kashaya, heart will be so much tamas. So for these kids, teach them how to little bit sacrifice their own love a little bit for others. Whatever they feel like love like it is very own to them, but is shared to other kids or other brothers, sisters, other parents. There's a very famous movie through that because you brought it up. You're going to see through that. My Sister's Keeper. The sister, there were two sisters. One sister had one cancer problem, and with chemotherapy, the bald head, and it would die within few days or months or weeks like that. And the other sister, the smaller sister, he had some bone marrow transplant, something that, so that would help the other sister. So in that whole movie, it's shown how through sacrifice will become a whole transformation happens in your own being and in both the kids. One kid died because cancer, another kid definitely was a normal one. But who were transformed in a better position when they died? He died peacefully. And the other kid, when he lost ultimately his cancer sister, when a sister who had cancer, she was also peace with her and peace with herself. My Sister's Keeper was the movie, name of movie. So like that to help them, they did not do much more strenuous meditative process or thinking all these things which we said, Sahasrara, Ashtagalpada, no need for kids. They need to, whatever they love, let them just share to. These things will open their heart naturally. Opening the heart lotus naturally. Because sharing out of love, it is a joy, it is a great grace, of divine grace. So let them do that. Try to teach that they can share. This is. So almost I think time is over. So pranayama time may not be there too much. Only very short I'm saying. And today we said from the Sarala Raja Yoga a little bit, Swamiji's. There is Swamiji's bigger Raja Yoga. Big book is also there. There Swamiji speaks of, as morning we said, Shankaracharya's, Adi Shankaracharya's Nari Shuddhi. There where you do Puraka and Rechaka, but you do not do Kumbhaka. Because Kumbhaka is there where there will be problem without help of Guru. First Nari Shuddhi you can do without closing your nostrils even. Just breathe from with both nostrils very deeply and again exhale very deeply. And try to do abdominal respiration like that. When you breathe in, your abdomen also, it may be go forward like it will breathe like that. And we do exhale, breathe down. You contract your abdominal muscles so that whole lungs also you can you bring out the air. Abdominal respiration like that you can, not as a pathological thing, but as a physiological way you can do that. This Nari Shuddhi with both the nostrils open. After that, if possible, you can do with right nostril with the thumb, left nostril either with index finger or with the ring finger. Very minimum 248, 242 or 484. Very minimum, not much more than that. 2 times to maximum 4 times. You can do Puraka and Rechaka and doing Kumbhaka outside. So first step we said open with both nostrils open, Puraka and Rechaka both nostrils open. Second we said that Puraka and Rechaka, but Kumbhaka will be outside. Means after you exhale throughout, you do the Rechaka throughout your breath, then you hold your breath outside. You don't hold your breath within the lungs. That's more harmful without any practice and support. So Kumbhaka outside. And then again you inhale. After inhale, you immediately exhale and hold your breath outside. That is Kumbhaka outside. So this is less harmful if without any support of Gurus. And if you want to do the main Kumbhaka that's inside, do very less. 484 means 4 counting 4 either with Ishta Mantra or with Omkara, Pranava. 4 times you inhale, 8 times you hold on the breath either with Omkara or with Hum. Swamiji says in the you think of say Hum mentally and you think that your Kulakundali in Muladhara is there as a snake, and with whom you are as if you are like piston, you are pressing your ear on the head of the snake like Kulakundali, so that with this pressure, with the always this push, Kundalini will rise through the earth. This is again imaginary, Swami says in Saralaya Yoga. And then after this 8 Kumbha, counting 8, you do Rechaka counting 4. That with the Pranava or later on by Ishta Mantra. So this is left nostril, maybe minimum 2 times 2 times here, or maximum 4 times this side, 4 times that side. Not more than that. Very good. So I think we ended our queries and anything. Anybody, any other questions or any queries, ideas, suggestions? Later on, we'll try to do Bengali and Hindi guided meditation future, maybe some other day, probably. Anybody would like to say anything? Please, you may say, then we can, otherwise, then we can end. Or any other queries, again, you can put in the group also, or in future also, without. Dr. K. Kameshwara, you have raised a hand. No, Kavita Majandar, probably. Uh, Anybody wants to say anything? Alright, probably there's no questions. Then we can end, and we'll end with the Shanti we said, that morning, that these 3 Shantis are called Adhyatmik, Adhidaivik, and Adhibhautik. This 3 tap, this is only bothers us. From that we want peace. Adhyatmik is from our own karma, this life and earlier life, that whatever problems tapa, or we are problem facing this heat, from that we pray for Shanti. Adi Daivik, which is not in our hand, like to the earthquake and the forest fire, so many things, sir. So for that we are asking for praying for peace. And Adi Bhautik, from other bhutaganas, whether it may be for human beings or even other animals. From there, whatever we may have problems, we seek blessing and peace from those. Means interpersonal relationships, we ask blessing from that and peace from that. So we'll do that, and we can end it. I think there is no more question or no more queries. We'll end. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Parnamastu.